Hi everyone and welcome back to the Wow Embossing YouTube channel. It is Erica, the one trick pony, and I will get right into that. As you may remember, if you are a frequent on this channel, these are the cards that I made for my last post earlier this month, also featuring the pearl embossing pratters. So I've used white pearl and also violet pearl. So you can see around the edges as well, I've added some ink blending just to kind of give it a little bit more depth. So I've used colored cardstock, pearl embossing, a word die cut, and then I did exactly the same thing for this post. So there are a few changes, but basically colored cardstock, pearl embossing powders, and a word die cut. But oh well. So for this card, I've used the green pearl regular and also aquamarine glitter powder inspired by Tracy Scott, which resulted in this card. So let's get right to it, shall we? So of course I've used my Misty, and I've used this fabulous big sentiment stamp from Altenew. This one's called Mega Succulent, and it covers like a whole card front. It's amazing, beautiful. You can watercolor it and heat emboss it obviously, and just use your Copics or colored pencils or whatever. It is a fantastic image to color. But for this one, of course, I have done no coloring. I have simply stamped the stamp first with Oceanside Concord and Ninth ink. This is the brand new ink range from Concord and Ninth, and they are rather lovely if I may say so myself. This cardstock is the Aqua Sky, and the ink, as I said, is Oceanside. So these are the cardstock and the ink range. Then I thought I'd cleaned off my stamp really well, but turns out I hadn't because my ink pad is now slightly mint green. But I have stamped again over with my embossing pad, and then I have sprinkled on top the pearl embossing powder onto all the lines there. So we're just going to sprinkle a bit at the top and then kind of wiggle it down, and like magic, it sticks to where it's supposed to stick. And because I used my anti-static tool, it doesn't stick anywhere else, even though I have used my grubby hands all over this already. Then with the heat tool, and this time I actually used the higher setting, which I very, very rarely use. But today I thought, hey, let's give it a whirl, shall we? And I did, and it worked really, really well. I thought actually it was going to blow off some of the powder, but it doesn't. So that's another piece of magic. I do use that word quite a lot when it comes to the Wow embossing products. So here it is, and even with that colored cardstock, you can kind of see that it's picked up that shimmer, and it's gone from a really light sort of minty green to like a deep teal. And then here's another one trick pony trick. So I've die cut out this word die a few times out of black cardstock and laid those up. And then on top of this, I'm going to use that same green pearl embossing powder, after of course covering it with the embossing pad first. And here you will see just how different it looks when you use it on dark colored cardstock. So this is obviously black, and the other one was like a minty green or aqua green sort of thing, and you get such different results. So this is like 3 or 4 different embossing powders in one. Just change the color of your background cardstock and you'll have a completely different color. Magic! There it is again. Oh well. So here we are again, turboing it up, and I never really used to use that setting, but now I think I'm gonna do it because it just melts everything so much faster. Incredible. And of course my little corkboard and a pointy tweezer hack will do the trick while I'm heating that up. And doesn't that just look fabulous? And I mean, that's the same color embossing pattern, but it looks so different with a different color cardstock. And here was a little bit of fiff-faffing back and forth. Do I use it on its own or do I use it with a white? But I didn't really like the white. It was just too stark. So what to do? Let's create some glitter cardstock instead. So covered this whole thing with the embossing pad, and then we have used aquamarine glitter powder and just really covered that really, really well. And then instead of heating from above, we're heating from underneath. And this time I'm using the lower setting because even though you're not blowing directly onto the glitter, it still goes all over the place. So I'm gonna be sparkling like a mermaid for the next few days, I think. But that's okay, isn't it? And even though it's super hard to actually film this part and get it right, you can see when the glitter is melting that. Isn't that just, I'm gonna use another word, an M word. Isn't that fantastic? Doesn't that look fantastic? Let's use that word instead. Look at that, isn't that cool? Yep, I know, I say that all the time as well, but it really is so cool. And there you have it, your homemade glitter cardstock. Perfect, isn't it? You can use any color you want, and you can basically have glitter cardstock in whatever color glitter embossing powder you have. Coolio. Right, so the last one trick pony thing I did was trim down the panel a little bit and add it to a white card base. And with that, I am done, but thank you so much for watching, and next time I promise I will pull out a new trick. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more.